Who can slit your throat out? Stab you with a hook? Who can fill your mouth with bees and bring you to your knees? The Candyman! Yes, the Candyman can. Well, now that I've lost all my viewers, it's time to talk about Candyman. No, not that one. I'm talking about Nia DaCosta's 2021 take on the 1992 Clive Barker Bernard Rose film of the same name. In this video, we'll be breaking it all down, comparing it to the original, and taking a deep dive into its ending. So grab my hook hand and make sure to like and subscribe. Seriously, only 10% of you are subscribed, because here we go. The first thing you'll notice is that all those fancy logos before the movie starts are shown backwards, as if viewing a reflection in the mirror. Mirrors play a large role in both films, both figuratively and literally. A mirror is what original Candyman killer, played by Tony Todd, used to climb through the Cabrini Green apartments to murder his victims. Mirrors are also tied to the Candyman folktale, as protagonist Anthony McCoy states,
"The legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you."
In the new version, mirrors and reflections are how we, the viewer, see many of the kills. Only through the reflection can we see Candyman himself. In the terrifying teenage bathroom kill scene, which I'll get to in a bit, instead of showing all the girls brutally killed, we only see a brief portion of the murders through this small makeup mirror, yet we hear all the brutality going on, letting the mind piece together the rest. I personally found this more terrifying than just showing everything straight up. The film, just like a mirror, offers a reflection on society today. On a deeper level, what is the film trying to say about race, class, and society? What, if anything, has changed since the Candyman of 1992? As Xander Berkeley's character says in the original about urban folktales,
"They are the unself-conscious reflection of the fears of urban society."
The film starts on a young boy named William Burke in 1977's Cabrini Green projects in Chicago. He's tasked with doing laundry at this super creepy laundromat, and it's kind of ironic since when we see adult William Burke, he runs his own laundromat business. It's also ironic that a laundry machine which runs on cycles reflects the cycle of Candyman itself. I'll get to that and how Burke is tied to Candyman in a bit. As a child, Burke encountered Candyman, or should I say, Sherman Fields. As we'll find out later, Candyman isn't a man or one person, he's, as Burke says, the whole damn hive.
Candyman ain't a he. Candyman's the whole damn hive.
Sherman was an odd fellow who handed out candy to local children, but when razor blades started showing up in kids' candy, guess who they blamed? When cops found him, they shot him like an animal on sight. No trial, no justice, nothing. And his innocence was proven weeks after his death when razor blades kept showing up in kids' candies. It's here that the urban legend of Candyman arose from the ashes once again. In the original, we get a different Candyman origin story about a man named Daniel Robitaille who was lynched and killed after having an affair with the daughter of a prominent wealthy white man. Candyman isn't one person, it's many. His survival is solely based on the stories we give it. Thus we'll see many Candymans in this movie, a hive as Burke called it. The hive and bee symbolism harkens back to how the original Candyman was smeared with honey and attacked by hundreds of bees. As producer-writer Jordan Peele says, what Candyman wants more than anything is to be eternal.
Much like the Candyman ghost, his ambition lies in becoming eternal.
And he achieves this through being ingrained in the psyche of those who believe in him, and blood. Yes, sweet, sweet blood.
I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without these things, I am nothing. So now I must shed innocent blood.
After Burke's encounter with Candyman, we fast forward 42 years to 2019. Our protagonist Anthony McCoy is a struggling artist who lives with his more affluent girlfriend Brianna, and they just happen to live in a new apartment right where Cabrini Green used to be. You see, all that remains of Cabrini today are these abandoned, dilapidated 2-story houses. The high-rises we saw in the original were torn down in the 90s, with the last one coming down in 2011. It's a cycle of gentrification. White man forces black people into the projects, white man takes them out, and the cycle repeats. Anthony is looking for inspiration for a new art exhibit after he's told his work just isn't cutting it by curator Clive Privler. I'm wondering if Clive is named after Candyman creator Clive Barker. So when Anthony hears about the story of Helen Lyle, the protagonist in the original Candyman, he travels to the abandoned Cabrini Green to check it out. There he takes photos just like Helen did. He's also stung by a bee sting which, over the course of the film, slowly takes over his body, turning his skin into this gruesome honeycomb formation. One could also assume that this image of the ants taking away the dead bee symbolizes the Candyman story. The dead bee is Candyman and the ants the people who keep his legend alive. Anthony pays close attention to this church where much of the end of the film takes place. It's fitting since in the original, Candyman often uses a lot of Christian wording referring to his followers as his congregation.
Tonight our congregation shall witness a new miracle.
It's here in the third act that Candyman will once again be resurrected through the body of Anthony McCoy, but we'll get to that in a bit. Anthony is startled when he finds a now adult William Burke on the Cabrini grounds, and this guy knows a lot about Candyman. He recites to Anthony the story of him and Candyman as a child, and Anthony becomes inspired, using this inspiration to show off some brand new paintings at his art exhibit, a showing which doesn't go over well with Clive and Chicago art critic Finley Stevens both panning his work. The name of his exhibit is Say My Name, conjuring images of the Black Lives Matter slogan, Say Their Names, used to remember those black men and women who died at the hands of police brutality. Candyman, like those who lost their lives, can only be remembered if we say their name. And for Candyman, it's quite literal. Remember, you have to say his name 5 times for him to appear, which is exactly what Clive's girlfriend does when the exhibit is over and she wants to get freaky with Clive. I've heard of women wanting their guts rearranged before, but not like this. They're attacked by Candyman, and it is bloody as hell. Anthony sees the news of the murder, but is more interested in his name being blasted on the TV than the murders themselves. It's here we really start to see a descent into madness as his body and mind succumb to Candyman's power. As more murders occur, the more infamous he and Candyman become. The two have a sort of symbiotic relationship. At the same time, Anthony's girlfriend is bombarded with job offers in the art curation space, but soon finds out it's not really because of her ability. People are just wanting to use her to gain access to Anthony, who has now become a big draw for these galleries. The man whose exhibit resulted in the deaths of a renowned curator would draw a large crowd. We also get a glimpse at Brianna's backstory. Her father was a tortured artist whose work led him to commit suicide, a suicide she witnessed firsthand as he threw himself off a building. That's why she locks away all his artwork in a storage locker and refuses to talk about him with her brother Troy. It's ironic then that she ends up dating a tortured artist who also descends into madness. Anthony does more research into Helen Lyle, uncovering her audio tapes at the University of Chicago where she was a grad student. He learns that the Candyman folktale was created as a means of self-preservation for the Cabrini Green community, a way for them to consolidate the horrors of everyday life into a mythical figure.
An entire community starts attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
In the elevator filled with reflective mirrors, of course, Anthony is shown as being the reflection of Candyman, hinting at him becoming the next iteration. He's surprised when he's asked to meet that art critic who panned his work. She wants to do a story on him now that he's become a known name. She wants to use and discard him for her own game, just like the projects were used and then discarded. He tells her if she wants to know the real story behind Candyman, she should say his name 5 times in the mirror, which she does. But when she goes off to the bathroom, Anthony is spooked off when he sees a reflection of Candyman again, and we get this cool death scene where the critic is killed. Instead of showing it up close and personal, it's shot in an extreme wide from outside the apartment. We see, not hear, her being brutally killed as people in neighboring apartments go about their lives oblivious to the horror beside them. I can't help but think this is a commentary on the Black experience, a lot of pain and suffering happening right before our eyes, being ignored as we go about our lives. Brianna confronts Anthony, who at this point has gone off the deep end, telling her that Candyman is real. She can't stand that he's turning into the thing that's pained her the most, her father. Meanwhile, we get a short segment where a teenage girl who visited Anthony's art exhibit decides to try out the Candyman game with her friends. As you can expect, this does not go over well. This is also where we get our first glimpse of Candyman floating, something that is only seen twice in this movie but multiple times in the original. The words "Say my name" are written in blood on the bathroom wall, the same name of Anthony's art exhibit, which is important because it leads the cops to believe Anthony was responsible, and now that 2 critics of his are found dead as well, it's not looking good for him. While getting his now absolutely grotesque bee-stung hand examined at the hospital, he learns he was born in that very hospital near Cabrini Green. This is weird because his mother told him he was born on the south side, so he goes and confronts his mother, who is none other than Anne Marie McCoy, played by Vanessa Williams, a character from the original. And I gotta say, damn Vanessa, it's been 30 years and it looks like you haven't even aged 10. She tells Anthony that he was the baby boy captured by Candyman way back in 1992 and saved by Helen Lyle. Candyman's purpose for him, to make Candyman even more renowned, was to have him burn in this giant fire, a fire which Helen ends up saving him from. From that day forward, Anne-Marie vowed never to say Candyman's name again and fabricated Anthony's past in order to protect him. Brianna tracks down William Burke in the hopes he might know Anthony's whereabouts, but in the process ends up getting captured by him. Burke has also captured Anthony, who at this point is in some sort of fugue-like state. He doesn't even feel it when Burke saws off his arm and inserts a hook in his place. You see, Burke is wanting to recreate Anthony in Candyman's image, but why would he want to bring back something that gave him so much trauma as a child? My interpretation is that he wanted to save the last remaining part of Cabrini Green in an effort to protect it from the viciousness of the outside world. If Brianna is to bear witness to Candyman's return and tell the world that he's real, no one would possibly want to move in there. As Burke says of the gentrifying white upper class, they tore down our homes so they could move back in. We need Candyman. It all harkens back to what Helen Lyle said in the original, that his legend was used as a sort of excuse for the daily horrors of their lives, horrors committed to them by police, crime, and society itself. In this way, Candyman is 2 contradictory things at the same time, killer and protector. Brianna manages to escape her confines, and in her escape kills Burke, ironically with a shard of glass from a mirror. But here is where things get really twisted. Anthony arrives and collapses in her arms as a squad of police cars arrive. The cops shoot Anthony on sight even though he was of no danger to them. It's basically exactly what happened to Sherman at the beginning of this tale. Brianna is put in the back of a squad car where one of the policemen tells her that this can go 2 ways. One, she testifies that Anthony lunged at one of the cops and the shooting was justified, or 2, she goes down as an accomplice. It's just another form of how corrupt this police force is, and Brianna says she'll agree to whatever he says as long as she can use his rear view mirror, which she does to summon Candyman. And here is where it gets really interesting. Candyman appears in the form of Anthony, killing all the cops, who also happen to be white. He moves around the car as we see the reflection of previous Candyman. It's evident that these Candymen are the haunting reminder of black men wrongfully killed in racially motivated murders. One of the cops runs and Candyman goes after him. Brianna watches as the cop is killed and a swarm of bees around Candyman's face part to reveal the original Candyman underneath, who says the line, "Tell everybody." He spares Brianna because Candyman can't exist without people believing in him. If she survives, she can tell his story and strike fear in a new generation. I doubt anyone will be wanting to move into Cabrini Green anytime soon, and in this way, Burke gets what he wanted all along. This ending also leaves open the potential for sequels, since Candyman will always be around so long as we remember him. That's my take on 2021's Candyman, but I want to know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe. I'm always coming out with new content. And for more bad takes, you can always follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.